Very thank you. Okay. So some of you had doubt about India-Pakistan borderline. Okay. So in our study classes, we talked about border neighboring border countries. Okay. So in that, our first discussion, it was going on for the Pakistan. So in that particular part, we had discussed that we had various bordering with the Pakistan, and also we have various bordering disputes with Pakistan. Then what are all those various disputes? So in that we have Pakistan occupied Kashmir, we have Pakistan occupied Kashmir, then we have India-Pakistan war, we have Sar Creek, we have Rann of Kutch, Siachen Glacier. Sar Creek and Rann of Kutch both are at nearby places. Okay, they are not of that much distance. Both are near, like Rann of Kutch. Suppose here we have Rann of Kutch area, and here we have the Sar Creek, this narrow water bodies. So both are nearby. Then we have the Siachen Glacier, Indus Water Treaty, and nowadays, now in 2016, we had Uri attack, and then after that we had Pulwama attack. Okay, so all those are various problems we are facing with the Pakistan. So now in that we were discussing what the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So see how this Pakistan occupied Kashmir it was named. I'll show you in this map. So see here, in this particular, when our country got independent and when Pakistan got independent in 1947. Okay, so during that time, what it was said by the present viceroy at that time, they decided that Britishers, they decided that we'll divide this particular part India into two parts. Okay, one will be what, Muslim dominating, so that name was given Pakistan. Then other will be Hindu dominating, and also if some like we can say Hindu dominating, so that name was given as India. So in that it was decided that the other communities, whoever wants to stay anywhere, they can go. So most of the all those except Muslim, most of the community, they decided to live in India. Okay, so it was decided, and that also it was decided Muslim, mostly the Muslim area will be divided a different country. Okay, so in that case, what happened? That this side we have the Pakistan. So here what happened? Here we have Muslim dominating area. Okay, and in this particular part, the Pakistan in this side, like that time when it was divided into two parts, so we had West Pakistan and East Pakistan. In the East Pakistan, in the other area nearby the Bengal. Okay, East Pakistan. So East Pakistan, which is now which is known as Bangladesh, East Pakistan. So in this case, what happened? Now this East Pakistan, here all people were good in speaking Bengali. Okay, and here mostly in this East Pakistan area, mostly all those people who were living here in this part, they were like workers, normal people. Whereas in this West Pakistan, like you all know about Zulfikar Ali Bhutto, various people, okay, Benjir Ali Bhutto, various people, they mostly all those novels used to live this in the West Pakistan. Okay, so this Pakistan was what, the ruling side. Okay, so in this particular part also we'll discuss that about 1971 war. Okay, how this happened, that everything will discuss. So first we were talking about the POK. Okay, so when it was divided, and it was said during that time that provinces, we had various provinces during that time. So it was decided, and it was said that provinces, if they want to go into the any area, they can mingle, otherwise they can live independently. So in that, during that time, what all those three provinces they were living independently? They are one, Jammu and Kashmir provinces. Okay, then other is what, Junagadh provinces, that is in Gujarat area, and third one is what, Hyderabad, Nizam of Hyderabad. So after few days, however, Junagadh got mingled with the India. Then there was talk between the Nizam of Hyderabad and the Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, and Hyderabad also finally got mixed up with the India. Okay, it was this Hyderabad, actually they had some mix up with police, Indian police and everything. That cases was going on. So they got at the end they also got mixed up with the India. But Jammu and Kashmir, they were living independently. So one night what happened? This Pakistan, in this Jammu and Kashmir area, the ruler was Hari Singh. He was Hindu. But in this particular area, the majority people were living, they were Muslims. They were Muslims. So in that case, what happened? This Pakistan novels, this in the West Pakistan, they thought that here majority people are what? Muslim. So we should also mingle them with us. So they thought that they to capture this particular Jammu and Kashmir area. So on one night, they attacked this Jammu and Kashmir area. So when they attacked Jammu and Kashmir area at that time, Hari Singh wanted to mingle with India only. So Hari Singh contacted Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel and Jawaharlal Nehru for supporting them, for defending them. So during that time, when India supported them, so during that time only we had this Hari Singh, he said that okay, we'll mix up with India, but we'll have our separate constitution and separate article. A special status should be given. So during that time only Article 370 took birth. Okay. So in that only it was decided Jammu Kashmir will have the separate constitution. So this was this part. So now when West Pakistan, when they attacked Jammu and Kashmir area, so during that time they had already occupied this particular area, POK area. They already had occupied POK area and this particular Azad Kashmir. So all this part of POK area only. Okay. So they had already occupied. Now in this occupied area, here we have some parts in this triangle part. This triangle is what? Siachen Glacier. And here in this blue color part is what? Saksgam Valley. Okay. So now for this line, so after few like we had one. So this line, till this line, it was known as what? Ceasefire line. Okay. Because here in the border area, we had regularly firing going on. Okay. So here when this particular matter about this Jammu and Kashmir area, when particular matter went to the UN, so that time UN decided that this part should be like a disputed area only, and they decided that this particular boundary should be demarcated from this place, and this particular line will be known as what? Ceasefire line. So during that time, when this particular matter went to the UN, so that time it was decided this line will be known as what? Ceasefire line. Okay, and remember that the Red Cliff line, which we have now, that is what? It is with India and Bangladesh. Okay, that boundary line, India and Bangladesh. It was between India and East Pakistan, so now it is India and Bangladesh. So if questions comes, so in that you have to read carefully the question and also the options. Then only you have to mark the answer. So now this, what happened during that time? So this is about the Pak occupied Kashmir. So this is the disputed area, and still we are fighting that since it was a part of Kashmir. So this POK should be with us, and it also has various importance. Okay, so that's why we are fighting for it. So, and in that what happened now, when when Pakistan started ruling this side, so they thought that they wanted, when they heard that China had attacked us in 1962. Okay, in Indo-Sino War, when we happened 1961-62, when we had China War. So that time this Pakistan thought to gift this particular Saksgam Valley to the China, and they gifted it in 1963, and they became friends, and they wanted to trade directly. Okay, they wanted to trade directly with the Pakistan. So during that time, what happened? They sold this particular part to the China. So during that time only, our authority members, they thought that if they have sold this particular part, so they might also try to both China and Pakistan might also try to occupy this Siachen Glacier part. So we started all our movements, army movements and everything, and we occupied this area. So that's why for these particular various operational related. So in that we had the Operation Meghdut. For Siachen Glacier we had Operation Meghdut. Then we had the Operation Rajiv. So Meghdut was for Siachen Glacier. Meghdut was for Siachen Glacier, and one more we had Operation Rajiv. So this particular Rajiv was for the nearby glaciers of Siachen. Okay. So suppose if nearby glaciers name are not given, or that yesterday we study about the Saltoro range. If that options are not there, then in that you can mark about the. So these particulars Azad Kashmir and Gilgit Baltistan is still now it is disputed area. So that's why this POK area is what disputed. So this is about the first part. So now in this particular part, see this was known as ceasefire line. Now after that, when we had war with Pakistan in 1971. So during that time in 1972, we had the Simla agreement. We had the Simla agreement, and during that time, what we wanted to reoccupy this area. Okay, but what happened during that time? This America also got involved. Okay, and from there we got threat also that they might attack us with nuclear bomb and all those things. So we did not mention. So we left this particular part and we discussed that this particular ceasefire line could be named as line of control. So during that time only, this particular in 1948, this particular line was named as ceasefire line, and after that, this particular line was in 1972 in the Simla agreement. It was decided that this line should be known as line of control. So that is about this particular part. And in that part only, see from here till this particular till the Siachen starting of the Siachen glacier, okay, here we had this boundary line demarcated, but after that it was not demarcated. Okay, so here the last boundary was named as what? NJ. So we have to remember this particular part also, NJ98, and about this particular boundary line question have been asked. Okay, so NJ9842. Remember this particular part. So that is about the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So in the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, we have Azad Kashmir and Gilgit Baltistan. Okay, so these are the parts of Pakistan occupied Kashmir, and also the K2, or we known as the Godwin. So that particular part is also in the part of POK area. Okay, so this is about the POK. Now we had various war, like 1947 we had this for the demarcation of this LOC. Okay, then in 1905 we know that we had war in our western front. Okay, so that time we led a operation. That operation was named as Operation Gibraltar. Okay, and there we had the tank fight and everything. So this is about the 1965. Then in 1971, so this what happened 1971, if you want to hear the real story. So see, in this case what happened here in the West Pakistan, all those novels were living. Okay, and in the East Pakistan, it was mostly the older people, or we can say that older and poorer people are living this side. Okay, and also the workers. Okay, so during that time what happened? During that time we had election in Pakistan. In 1971 there was election occurrence in Pakistan, and during that time what happened? This Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, and see, remember that this side population was high. Okay, so since the population was high this side in the East Pakistan, so during that time what happened? So here we had the number of seats. So here we had the maximum. Okay, so what happened here? The Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, father of Sheikh Hasina, Prime Minister of Bangladesh, ex Prime Minister of Bangladesh. So here Sheikh Mujibur Rahman won the election. How he won? Like from this side he did not win any votes, but he in this Eastern Pakistan side he won all the vote. Okay, and for making the like 50% seats he got from this side itself. So it was decided Sheikh Mujibur Rahman will be the Prime Minister of Pakistan. Okay, but here the nobles people they do not want this Sheikh Mujibur Rahman to be the Prime Minister. Okay, And already this East Pakistan were demanding for various things. They were demanding for separate languages. Okay, so various things they were demanding. So this Western Pakistan, and in the Western Pakistan we had all those military rulers. They were staying in this area only. So they attacked this East Pakistan. They raped many people, nearby 36 lakhs. Okay, nearby 36 lakhs people died doing in this 1970 war. Okay, when this military rulers, when the military, all those army, everyone, when attacked in the East Pakistan area. So during that time, what happened? This Indira Gandhi, our Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, she actually she wanted to us to help them. So during that time, they was saying that when a war was going on, so that time we had monsoon season. Okay, and it was said that we did not have that much capability to survive in water, because we know that we have Ganga Brahmaputra river going from this side, and there was flood also in that area, in the East Pakistan area. So during that time it was decided, okay, till that we will build a force. So East Pakistan, they built a force named as what? Mukti Vahini. Okay, with the help of Indian government, they built a force Mukti Vahini, and they started saving people from this side. Then after that, when Pakistan attacked in the western front, then we got chance to attack Pakistan. So we attacked Pakistan in the eastern Pakistan side, and we won. And during that time, 83,000 Pakistanis soldiers were asked to put their armors down. Okay, so 93,000 Pakistani soldiers were prisoned during that time. So that victory was one of the biggest honors. So during that time, after that only we thought to have the Simla agreement, and we thought to reoccupy the POK area. But we had pressures from the America side, so we could not reoccupy this particular area. So that is about the Mukti Vahini, and there was the birth of Bangladesh. So that is about the Mukti Vahini. Then in 1990 we had the Kargil war with Pakistan. So in doing which we had led the operation, that is Operation Bijay. Okay. Now the next part is about the Sur Creek. So creek is what? It is a narrow piece of water where the sea flows into the land. Okay. Like this, like we know that waste flowing rivers, what they used to make? They used to make estuary, waste flowing rivers. Okay. They makes estuary. So what is estuary? Estuary is same as creek. Okay. Like this, what will happen here? In the eastern side, when they make delta, eastern rivers, so what they will take all those sediments and they will deposit near that sea area. Okay. But here what will happen in the estuary or in the creek part, what we can say, that here sea water also will coming inside this river part. Okay. At the like end river part, and there will be the mixing. So that particular part where we have the various importance, like fishes will prevail in that area, then salts, then petroleum production also can be there. So that's why this particular creek was important. So in that, what happened near the run of Kutch area, we had totally 6 creeks lies. Okay, like one creek here, second creek, third creek, fourth creek lies, fifth creek, sixth creek. Okay, so in that, Sir Creek was the northernmost, and we had the southernmost creek as the Pori Creek. Okay, so in the like before India divided, so there what happened? This side we had the king of Kutch ruling. Okay, king of Kutch, and that's why in the Pakistan king of Sindh was ruling. Okay, even during that time they also had some disputes, but they resolved it, and later there was no talks about this particular part. But when Pakistan got independent and they saw this importance of this particular creeks, so they also wanted to have this to work on this particular part and wanted to make use of all those resources. So that's why disputes are going between Pakistan, India for this particular area, for the creeks area. Okay. So when the matter went to the UN, so that time it was decided by UN that 19% of water, 90% of water of all those 6 creeks will be taken by India and only the 10% will be used by the Pakistan. Okay. So that is about the Sar Creek. Then Ran of Kutch area. So that's same thing. Sar Creek and the Ran of Kutch, it is almost the same. Okay. That is about the Ran of Kutch. Then Siachen Glacier. So we all decided we wanted to save that triangular part. Okay, because that was strategically also important. If we do not save that particular part, see it. If you see this map, sorry. Wait, I'll take to Jammu Kashmir. See here. In this particular part, what happened? Here we had the Afghanistan this side. Okay. Like 406 kilometer. Sorry, not here. Here. This side. Okay. For 106 kilometer, we have the Afghanistan. Okay, boundary lines. Okay. But here, if they occupy this particular part also means China will be able to directly work with Pakistan and also with the all those Gulf nations. Okay, so that's why it was very important. So that's why we wanted to have the control over the Siachen Glacier. So in that Siachen Glaciers, we have the various ranges also. So for saving this particular part, we had the various operation level. Okay, and Siachen Glacier is also the world's highest battlefield. And there we have in the Siachen Glacier, for the Siachen Glacier, we had led the Operation Meghdut. And for the other parts, we had led the Operation Rajiv. For this Saltoro range, Nubra River. Okay, Operation Rajiv was led. Okay, so this is about the Siachen Glacier. Now we have the Indus Water Treaty. So now in this particular part, Indus Water Treaty, see here, we have rivers flowing over India and which is later flowing to the Pakistan. Okay, so here we have the Mansarovar, Himalayan mountains. Okay, so from here we have the origination of Indus and it is coming to India. Okay, and it is flowing and then after it is entering into the Pakistan. Then we have the Jhelum River, we have Chenab, Ravi, okay, Byas, and we have Satluj. Okay, Indus, Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Byas, Satluj. So now in this case, what happened? See here. Now what we were doing, we were stopping this water for our use, and then when it was like when the quantity or the limit of the dam, if it was like over it, so we were releasing the water. So because of that, Pakistan were facing either the drought season or they were facing flood issues. Okay, and also they were not able to use this particular river water for their irrigation purpose and all those purpose. Okay, for irrigation purpose or some other purpose like hydroelectricity production, all those purpose, or for the drinking water. So they went to the UN for this particular matter. Okay, they went to the World Bank. Okay, so in 1960 we had agreement. Okay, so that this Indus Water Treaty, so for water sharing, they went to the World Bank in 1960, and during that time we had agreement, and it was decided that the first river water, Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab river water will be under the control of Pakistan. Okay, so out of which 20% of water can be used by India for irrigation, drinking, and the hydroelectricity. And the last 3 rivers, Ravi, Byas, and Satluj, here we have the full control. India will have the full control and they can build whatever dam or anything they want it. Okay, but where in the Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab, we can't build anything. We have to use the run of river project. Okay, suppose if you want to use for the hydroelectricity also means only we can use a turbine run of river project. We can't build dam or anything. But even though this was decided, even though we built dam over the Indus River. So again, this Pakistan went to World Bank that you said about this thing and they have built a dam. So to solve that matter, to just pacify the Pakistan, so what India should do, just they will reduce the height of dam, or they will try some changes. When the matters resolves, so again we will build, and again we will stop water. Still now that issue is going on between the Indus and India and Pakistan for Indus water. So
Yes,
still now
sir.
the matter has not been resolved. So this is
Yes.
about the India-Pakistan relations and all those boundary lines.
Yes, sir.
So any doubt in this particular part?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, tell me.
Sir, in Ravi, Bias, and Sindhaj, do the Pakistan have any share in it?
No, but see,
We have full control over it.
yeah. See, in the by the World Bank, it was decided that we have full power, full control over the Ravi, Bias, and Satluj. Okay, Ravi, Bias, and Satluj, we have full control, and whereas Indus, Jhelum, and Chenab will be under the control of Pakistan. Okay, but in that 20% of water can be used by us for irrigation, drinking, or hydroelectricity. In that hydroelectricity also, in that we should have the run of river project. It's not that we should build dam. Okay, so this is about that one. But even though this was decided, but we have built dam on Indus River. Okay, so this is about this part. So any other doubt? Okay, so now we will move on to the next part, that is about the India and China. India and China. See, before that, if we discuss about the India and Nepal, here we have India and here we have Nepal. So we know that we are between India and Nepal, there is visa free traveling. Okay, so we do not have any issues with the Nepal. But nowadays, like in recent news, if you have seen, so nowadays some tensions are going on. Okay, so that thing you should study in the current affairs part. So now, if you come to the India-China part, so during see in the old time, in the ancient India, or we can say the medieval India, during that time what happened, or also we can say during the, so first we will take the in the ancient India, like in 842. So that time what happened? That time kings were ruling. Okay, so that time Tibet was the independent empire. Then China was independent empire. Okay, both the independent empire. So now after sometimes after various years, what happened? Like we can say that in 1800, they had in the Tibet we had like three brothers. Okay, so they wanted to rule independently. So they divided. They took some parts and they started ruling. Someone took this part and they started ruling, and someone took this part and they started ruling. So in that case, what happened? Now they were divided and they were ruling. So in that during that time also, what happened? China got chance, and also the kings of India like Punjab sides, they also got chance to attack this part and bring this part under their empire. So during this part also, like in the Sikh empire, we had the Gulab Singh. Gulab Singh. Okay, so he reclaimed some parts of this particular Tibet empire, but again he gave back to them. Okay, so now in that case, what happened? In 1819, we had the agreement with the Tibet empire. Okay, that there will be no fight, but if you want to use some resources, so okay, by getting permission, we can use and we can be friends. So like situations were going on, but China, they got chance to attack. So the ruler who was ruling in the China part, so he first occupied this area. Okay, then after it, when he came to know about all these parts, so they tried to occupy all those parts. Okay, so during that time, like fights were going on. So in 1842, we had in 1842 they had Treaty of Treaty of Chusul. Remember that this particular part is not that much important for remembering. Okay, so this particular part I am just detailing you for the confirmation purpose. Suppose if you're writing the like UPSC mains, so in that case you have to write, otherwise this is for just for a knowledge purpose. Okay, this is not important for your exams. So in 1842 they had the Treaty of Chusul. Okay, and the treaty was between Sikh, the Punjab ruler who was ruling this side, then with the king of Tibet and China. And there they decided we'll have the new border. Okay, so during that time, what happened? New border was decided. Okay, so in the China Sea, if we see the disputed part, so that is what Aksai Chin. Okay, Aksai Chin, it is near the Ladakh area and some parts of the Punjab. Like in this particular Aksai Chin only, we have the Galwan Valley, which was in the recent news, Galwan Valley. Okay, so during that time it was decided a new border was demarcated, and during that time what Aksai Chin was part of India. Okay, Aksai Chin was part of India only. But what happened? Then in 1855, we had survey. Okay, survey took place, and during that time a line was demarcated between India and China, and then particular in the nearby the Aksai Chin area only, a line was demarcated, and that particular line was named as what? Johnson line. Johnson line. Okay, so that particular line was named as what? Johnson line. So now you can see in this particular part here. Earlier this whole part is what? Aksai Chin. Okay, and here we had the India. Okay, so before that what happened? Our boundaries were till this particular part. Okay, now after that they reduced, so it came like, so see here we have the Johnson line in earlier part. Okay, we had the Johnson line, and after that this particular when it was there was some disputes were going on. So after that it was decided that we are studying later part, that this Aksai Chin area will be no man's boundary. Okay, here neither India will come to this part, neither China will come. But China started interfering into this part. So that's why we had the fight in this particular Galwan Valley. When Indian Army saw about this particular movement of China, so there we had the fight with the China. And also in this particular part, we will study that with China, there was agreement that we will never, after 1962 war, it was decided we will never go on with the arms. Okay, so we will not fight with the arms. There was a agreement. Okay, so in the Galwan Valley also, you all would have heard that China fought with like in the hockey stick. Sorry, in hockey stick, they had some wire fixed in this particular part and they fought. And that time India was unaware. Then after that also when we got the second chance, so that time we also attacked them China in the same way. So that time was so this particular part also we'll see. Okay, so here we have the Johnson line. Okay, so here in the Aksai Chin area, where is this Mac Mohan line? Okay, so Mac Mohan line, this particular line is demarcated in the Arunachal Pradesh area. This particular Mac Mohan line. Okay. So this particular Johnson line, again what happened, like in 1855 we had a survey and this line was decided, this will be known as what? Johnson line. Then again in 1899 again boundary revised, and that time like see Britishers wanted to use this particular part. Okay, like we know that from this side, okay, from this side we had the all those Silk Route. From this side we have the Silk Route. Okay, so these Britishers wanted to use this particular part. Okay, so again in 1899 it was decided this particular line will be known as was McDonald line. McDonald line. Okay, then in 1914 again Britishers wanted to have some change in this particular line. Okay, because China was not using this area. So again this Britishers they wanted to increase their boundary. Okay, so during that time it was decided that so this particular in 1914 again we had the convention. That convention was known as what? Simla Convention in 1914. 14. We had a similar convention. Doing that, we had the talks with India, China, and also with the Tibet. Okay, so we had talked with the India, China, and Tibet. So during that time, what happened? Now this boundary was demarcated, and it was decided this will be no man's boundary, and in this particular part, will not have, sorry, not in 1914 we had a similar convention, and it was decided this whole part will be what Aksai Chin area, and here we have the boundary till this particular part. Okay, then in later, like when we had the 1962 war, so that during that time what happened, during that time first China started interfering from this part, started entering from this part. Okay, they did not attack Arunachal Pradesh first, and then meanwhile they also attacked in the Arunachal Pradesh area. When they came to know that all those Indian armed forces have come to this area, so they attacked in the Arunachal Pradesh area during that time. Okay, so during that time they occupied this area, and fights were going on in this particular area, this whole Aksai Chin area. Fights were going regularly. Then after some time, it was decided that this side will be what? No man's boundary. Okay, here neither China will enter nor India will enter in this particular part. Okay, but after some days, what happened? China started building road, and they started coming this side, and they came till here, and they started saying that your boundary is from here. Okay, and this whole part is ours. So that's why we have the disputes in this particular Galwan Valley area, or we can say the major part of Aksai Chin. Okay, then occupied. Then they started saying that your that Aksai Chin area, that boundary is from here. Okay, it's not from this side area. So for that, still now disputes are going on. So during that time, when we had fights in the Galwan Valley, we know that we had various soldiers who died. So like various news were going on. Okay, so that is about the Aksai Chin and also the Galwan Valley. Okay, and in that also there is an important lake. That lake name is what? Pangong So. Okay, so Pangong So. So here, like in this area, we had this water body. So we thought, okay, it will be not of that much important, all those things. But what happened? China wanted to use this water for some they wanted to use this water for navigable, so navigable purpose. So all those things were going on, and this China, what actually they wanted to disturb India. Okay, like after 1962, they thought to they thought to attack India from inside. Means what? Not like attacking directly. They wanted to attack indirectly, like how Pakistan is attacking indirectly by sending terrorists, all those things. So in the similar way, they wanted to make India weak. Okay, so that's why they started using this particular part, and also in the Arunachal Pradesh part. Okay, so now in Arunachal Pradesh, it's not of that much importance, so they are not focusing on that part. Okay, but here we have this lake. Okay, and in this particular lake, here after this particular, here we have the also the, if we see, we have the Karawas. Okay, which is important for the growing of saffron. So that type of soils are there. Okay, and this Ladakh area, it is very much important for various uses, like even for the growing of trees or all those silk parts. So it is useful this side. So they wanted to use this particular part. So that's why still now disputes are going on. And remember about this particular lake, that is Pangong So Lake, and that is nearby the Aksai Chin area. So remember this. That nearby what? It also flows into the Aksai Chin area. See, Pangong So Lake is what? From here to this area. So it also flows in the Aksai Chin area. And there in that particular part here, what are all those places? We have the Depsang Plains. In that particular part, we have the Galwan Valley. We have Pangong Trek, Pangong So. Then that side also we have the hot springs. So remember all this particular part. Okay. All the questions were asked about the Galwan Valley. So remember about the Depsang Plains also, and also the Pangong So Lake. and also about the hot spring. So that is about the Aksai Chin in the northern India in the Ladakh area, and the China. The disputes are going on. That is Aksai Chin. So that dispute is going between for that particular part only. And there we have the various valley, Galwan Valley, and also we have the plains. That is Depsang Plains. Now, if we come about the Brahmaputra River dispute, like how we are playing with the Pakistan about the Indus. Okay. Then in the similar way, China is also playing with the Brahmaputra River. What they are doing, like see here at this particular part, here we have the Himalaya. Okay. So from this particular part, we have the Mansoor Lake here this side. From here, Kailash mountains also we have there. So from this particular part, we have the origination of Indus, we have the origination of Ganga River, we have the origination of Brahmaputra River from this part. And they are flowing into the China area and they are entering into the Arunachal Pradesh from that side. Okay. They are taking a bend and their Brahmaputra River is taking a bend and it is entering into the Arunachal Pradesh area. So what is happening? This, since the water is flowing from this side and we know that if it flows from the slopey side, so it will have the high speed. Okay. So here what is happening? Here this China is building some dams. Okay. China is building some dams in these areas. And so what is happening? And we also know that Brahmaputra river is also known as for the course changing. Okay. Like suppose if it is flowing in this way. So suddenly like with this high speed, suddenly it will change this side. Okay, you will cut the all those materials from this and it will start flowing from this area. Okay, so light course will be keep on changing due to its high water capacity and high speed of the water. Now in that case, what this particular China is doing? They are building dams over this side. So now suppose if they are building dams, so now it will be dependent on China. So if they close the dam means what? So here this side in the Arunachal Pradesh area will be facing the drought time. Okay. And when the water is overflowing in the China dam, so what they will do? They will leave. So during that time we will have the sudden flood. So because of that we will be facing various issues. Okay. So that's why only we are having dispute over the Brahmaputra river. Okay. So impact, what all those impacts will have? We'll have the risk of water logging, water scarcity also we might have. Then power shortage also we might have. So all these are situations between India and China due to the Brahmaputra river. Okay. So this is all about the India and now we come, sorry, India and regarding the Brahmaputra river dispute. Now if we come about the dispute of Doklam Plateau. From Brahmaputra river, if they ask questions, so we must remember that it is taking sudden bend, and this is only for the mains purpose. It's not that much important because that area only we must remember that it is entering from the Arunachal Pradesh area. Brahmaputra river is entering into India from the Dihang Gorge. Okay, Dihang Gorge from the Arunachal Pradesh area. So this particular part, when we study about the Indian drainage system, so there we discuss about this particular part also. So that is about the Brahmaputra river dispute. Now we come to the dispute of Doklam Plateau. Okay. Now if we see, like suppose here we have our Indian country, and here we have, here down part we have the Bangladesh, and here we have Indian country. So now here what is happening? Here we have Bhutan. Okay, here we have Sikkim, and nearby that we have the Bhutan area. So here what this particular China are doing? China are trying to occupy this area and they are trying to road in this Doklam area. Okay, and Doklam belongs to the Bhutan. Here you can see here in this particular map, till this boundary lines we have the India, and here this particular part is what Sikkim, here we have Bhutan. Okay, and here this particular part, so this is like chicken neck. Okay, here this particular part, chicken neck. Okay, so it is like, it is just 30 kilometers wide. Okay, so suppose if they built road over here, then they will be easily able to have the location at this particular, located at this particular Indian part, and they might also cut this particular part and they might build this road. And suppose if they are comfortable, so we will be facing issues to supply our armed forces in this eastern India. So that's why we are focusing on that part, and that's why we are saying that China can't build road over in the Doklam area in the Bhutan. So that's why we are supporting Bhutan. So now in this Doklam Plateau, so this particular Doklam Plateau is located in the Chumbi Valley of Bhutan. It is located at the triangular junction of India, Tibet and Bhutan, and it is also close to the Nathula Pass. So in the Sikkim we have two passes. Sikkim we have two passes. One is Jilepla and one is what? Nathula. So Doklam Plateau is nearby which pass? That is Nathula Pass. Remember that. Okay? Because questions might come about the Doklam Plateau, so we must remember the Nathula Pass. It is a place of strategic importance for India. So this place is just 30 kilometers wide. Okay? So that's why we are thinking, suppose if China got control over, if they build road over here, so they might control this particular area. So we'll be cut off from this particular transferring our armed forces or anything to this area. Okay, so that's why we are focusing on this part, and also we are building port and roads through the Myanmar area. Okay, so dispute what is there, that road construction was being taken place by the China. So that's why we have the dispute over the Doklam Plateau. Okay, you can see here, this is Siliguri corridor. Okay, and here we have the Bhutan. Okay, so here here we have our Sikkim. Here this side we have the Bhutan. If they build road over here, so they'll be easily able to look over this particular area, and they can control. Suppose if they build road over here, so they might attack and they can cut our India into two parts. So that's why we are focusing on this particular Siliguri corridor or Chicken Neck corridor. Okay. So that is about the Doklam Plateau. Then Kailash Mountains. So that Kailash Mansoor, we know that all are important rivers like Indus, Ganga, Brahmaputra rivers are originating from the Kailash Mountains only. Okay. And that particular Kailash mountain is known as what? Sacred place for the Hindu, Buddhist, Jain, all those peoples. And we know that our India is a secular country. So in that particular part, so for that also we have the fights like this river is originating from this area and this particular part belongs to our area. So that all those waters will be controlled by us. So that's why we have the issues over that particular area also. And from this Kailash route only, from Kailash and also some parts of the Aksai chain, we have the origination of, we have the Silk route. So that's why we have the fights over that particular part also. So there we have the Uttarakhand where we have the Lipu Lake Pass. Okay, so that was the shortest route for the Silk route. So that's why we are focusing on this particular area also. Okay, then one belt, one road initiative. Okay, so that was taken by, proposed by China, that aims to connect China with Europe, Africa and Asia through road, railways and waterways. Okay, so that's why we wanted to have control over these areas so that China should not come and control these areas by building roads, waterways and the railways in these areas. Okay, if they build all those, if they build roadways and railways in this area, then they will use these particular resources, and due to lack of our infrastructure, we won't be able to use these resources, and also we won't be able to supply our armed forces. So that's why nowadays our Indian Prime Minister have said that first the border roads will be, so nowadays lot of border roads are being made in the border areas. And remember that border roads are built by Border Road Organization. Okay, so that was about that part. Then Galwan Valley, it is same as the Aksai Chin. Okay, so Galwan Valley, Aksai Chin, which is situated among the hills near the Galwan River. Okay, so this particular Galwan River is present in the Aksai Chin area and later it joined the Siok River. Okay, so what they are showing in the map, that Galwan Valley is being controlled by them. So that's why we have fights over this Galwan Valley River. And then Lake Pangong So. Here we have this particular Lake Pangong So. It is also known as what? Saltwater lake. Okay. So tension was seen between India and Chinese soldiers in Ladakh near Pangong So Lake. Okay. Which is a long, deep and indoor peak, that is land of saltwater lake situated at an altitude of more than 14,000 feet in Ladakh, Himalaya. So in this particular part, you must remember about that. Okay, disputes are going in this particular part, but in this particular part, we all must remember about that this particular lake is what? Saltwater lake. Okay, and it is in the Aksai Chin area. Aksai, it is nearby the Aksai Chin area. So it is mostly in the Ladakh area. So it is nearby the Aksai Chin and the Ladakh area. Okay. So it is nearby what? LAC, line of actual control. So here importance what? Chushul Valley is located nearby the Rajangla Pass and the Pangong So Lake. Okay. And Chushul, that belongs to the China area. So that's why we have importance of this Pangong So Lake. And then the disputes of Arunachal Pradesh. Okay. There have been reports of like China trying to build roads in this particular area, but actually China is not focusing on this part. Why? Because Arunachal Pradesh is not of that much importance for them. Okay, but just to disturb India, they are doing some activity in this particular area. Okay, so this is about the dispute of Arunachal Pradesh. Now that was about the China and India border disputes. Okay, already we had discussed about the how much length we have of the border line and what are all those border lines, different border lines names. We have the McMahon line. Okay, and also we saw about the Johnson line. We also saw about the McDonald line. This particular Johnson line was revised McDonald line, and this after this McDonald line again it was revised, and then this particular line was named as what? Aksai Chin area, and that it was decided that will be what? Line of actual control. Okay, so remember that particular part, and those things were the dispute between the China and India border disputes. Okay, so now we will move on to the next part, that is international border with the Bangladesh. Okay, so this Bangladesh, if you see, we know that India's highest international border is with the Bangladesh. Totally, it is totally of what? How much? 4,096 kilometers. Okay, so what are all those Indian states? Remember about the states. Okay, what are all those Indian states touching with the boundary of Bangladesh? So we have the West Bengal, Tripura, Meghalaya, Mizoram, Assam. So remember, all the questions have been asked about the states. What are all those states touching the Bangladesh border? Or what are all those states touching the Myanmar border? So light questions have been asked. So remember all those states' names. So we have the West Bengal, Tripura, Meghalaya, Mizoram, and Assam. Tripura is surrounded by Bangladesh. Okay, like here you can see. Here we have the we have the Bangladesh. Okay, so here some parts of Assam is here. So Assam here we have the Tripura here. Then Meghalaya here we have. Okay, then we have the parts of Mizoram. So here we have West Bengal, and this side we have the West Bengal area. Okay, this whole part is West Bengal area. So there we have the border touching. So the border of Tripura and Bangladesh is called the zero line. So remember about this zero line. Border of Tripura and Bangladesh is called what? Zero line. And what are all those major issues between India and Bangladesh? We know that Rohingya Muslims. Okay, Rohingya Muslims coming from Myanmar area and also from the Bangladesh area. Okay, so we have the illegal migration. Then we have the disputes over the Tipai Mukh Dam. Then we have disputes over the Teen Biga corridor. Okay, then trains, about the trains also we have the disputes. Then we have the disputes over the Sundarbans, dispute over the Tista River. Then we have the dispute over the Fraka barrage and land border agreement. Okay, so that everything we'll discuss here in details. So see here, this particular part, if you see, like we had a dispute over this particular area. So that particular, like you all would have heard in the news that recently India gave enclave and we resolved our issues with the Bangladesh. Okay, that was what land boundary agreement. Okay, like we know that in during British's ruling time, we know that that time kings were ruling. Okay, so during that time, border was not of that much matter. So in that time, what happened? After when the separation took place, so during that time, 102 enclaves were in the Indian part, which were the part of the 102 enclaves were in the Bangladesh part, which were the part of India, and also some parts were from the Bangladesh. Okay, and this particular part, 71 Bangladeshi enclaves were in the Indian part. Okay, so that's why these disputes were going over both between India and Bangladesh. And recently in 2015, we had this agreement. Already in 1974, agreement was going on, and recently in 2015, we had this agreement, and there we had solved these particular issues. And in that issues, we gave them all these enclaves. So see here, in this, if you see here, India has 111 enclaves and Bangladesh has 51 enclaves. Okay, and that time what happened? This particular enclave, which was the part of Bangladesh, that enclaves were given to Bangladesh. Okay, sorry, not this enclaves was with us only. From this part only, some parts we gave them to Bangladesh, and all other parts we brought to the India. Okay, so in this way we had the solve the issues. Okay, like instead of giving them these parts, from this part itself we gave them to Bangladesh. So that is about the land border agreement. The land border dispute between India and Bangladesh was ended by the 8th Constitution Amendment Act 2015. So there what happened? Accordingly, Bangladeshi enclaves 51 located in India were merged in India, and the Indian enclaves 111 located in Bangladesh were assigned to the Bangladesh. Okay, so that 51 that is being located in India that were merged with the India, and the Indian enclaves 111 enclaves located in Bangladesh were assigned to the Bangladesh. So this was a very specific constitutional amendment. Okay, so already this about this particular part, all this already amendment was going on, argument was going on between India and Bangladesh in 1947 itself. Okay, during the prime ministership of Indira Gandhi. So during that time itself, talks was going about this particular part. So now this particular part was recently solved during 2015. So that is about the land boundary agreement. So now for what you all do, when you all go home, just read the whole story of land boundary agreement. Okay, read the whole story of land boundary agreement, because these particular questions can be asked in your SSB. Okay, so now we next move on to the illegal migration. Okay, so now we know that we have the various illegal migrants coming to India from Bangladesh or from the Myanmar or from the neighboring countries. So here what happened? We know that Bangladesh was established as East Pakistan in 1947 and they gained independence in 1971. Okay, so between 1961 and 1980, more than 1 million people came to India from Bangladesh and settled permanently in Assam. Okay, so on August 15, 1985, there was agreement between all Assam students, okay, and other organization and the government of India known as what? Assam Accord. So during that time, it was decided that Hindu Muslims who entered Assam after 21st 1971 were to be identified and expelled from the state. And still now this particular fights are going on. I read just yesterday or today news that still now about expelling all those illegal migrants from the Assam whoever came after 1971 to send them back to the Bangladesh area. So still now it's going on. So this is about the illegal migration. So that's why we had, when the Rohingya Muslims started coming, so that's why we had this particular NRC, National Register of Citizenship. Okay, so that's why we try to implement. So NRC has been implemented in Assam, according to which only those people who will be considered Indian citizens whose ancestors' names were present in the NRC of 1951 or any voter list till 24th March 1971. So this was the condition. So remember about this NRC of 1951 and 24th March 1971, that it was decided after 1971, whoever came to India, they will be sent back. Okay, they will be expelled from this particular state. Then we have the dispute over the Tista River. Okay, so a dispute over the Tista River. Actually, what happened? We know that when Ganga River is flowing from the northern India, then from the eastern India, we have the Brahmaputra River coming and they're entering into the Bangladesh. So when the Ganga River in the Bangladesh, it is known as what? Padma. Okay. And Brahmaputra in the Bangladesh, it is known as what? Jamuna. And when they both joins, they become the tributary of Tista in Bangladesh. Okay. So there what happened? Like in the Tista River itself. So here, see, all those, it was brought, okay, all those sediments brought by the Brahmaputra River, sediments brought by this particular Padma River, that was being deposited in the Sundarban area. Okay, so in that case, what happened? We know that this Tista River, it is in the Bangladesh. So Bangladesh wanted to have full control over this particular Tista River, but India since all those parts. So here, what was happening in this Bangladesh area, because of sediments of Ganga River and the Brahmaputra River, here it was becoming like swampy area, like swampy and marshy area. So that's why all those disputes were going on. And in this particular area, we have the various resources also. So that's why we have the talks going on. And in this particular area, after this agreement, here it's not showing fully. It's mostly in the like 1981. Okay, so don't worry about this date. I'll confirm you and I'll say you tomorrow. So India and Bangladesh agreement was happening for the Tista River, and in that it was decided India will have the 39% access and Bangladesh will have the 36%, and 25% will be of the like rivers, swampy, anyone can use, either India or the Bangladesh. So there it was decided about that was about the Tista River. Okay, so that was about this particular Tista River, and also we had discussed about this land boundary agreement. Now we come to the Sundarban Delta. So Sundarban Delta, we know that particular we have the Ramsar site and we have the mangrove. So here what happened? We were building barrage, Farakka barrage. Okay, to control the water of Ganga. Okay, so because of that, what was happening? This Bangladesh was facing issues of flood and the drought. Okay, most of the time because of both Ganga and Brahmaputra settling into this particular area. Okay, so most of the time they facing issues of flood only. But what India was doing, it was controlling the water of Ganga in the part of India itself, and sometimes when not required, it was leaving. So that time Bangladesh were facing the heavy issues. So that's why we have the issues over this particular part also. So we know that this particular part comes like in the Sundarbans, eastern part comes in the Bangladesh area and western parts in the India. Okay, and this particular Sundarban Delta is important for the mangrove, and it's a wetland and the Ramsar site. what do we mean by Ramsar site, what do we mean by wetlands, that everything will be studied in the environment part. Okay. Then next is what? 3 Bigha corridor. And remember that for using the resources of this Sundarban, we have the disputes. Then we have the 3 Bigha corridor. So this particular cases also happened because of the ruling of kings. So during that time, this Kuch Bihar, which is in West Bengal, and Dahagram of Bangladesh. Okay, so this is this 3 Bigha corridor. It is actually about the enclaves only. Okay, so 3 Bigha corridors were released to Bangladesh by Constitutional Amendment of 1992. Okay, so what happened? This 3 Bigha actually here a particular place. If you see in this particular map, this line, sorry, this particular line, if you see ABD, all this area. So see what happened, that it was decided by the king of Assam to donate to the Bangladeshi king. Okay, then later that it was of not that much of importance. Later that talks was going on, so it was just the silent matter. And after that, when they got independence, so they also like similar like Pakistan, they also thought some importance. So that's why. So after that, it according to the CEA 1992, we gave them this particular 3 Bigha corridor to them. Okay, like 3 Bigha means what? 3 Bigha land, we can say. Okay, so that was given to Bangladesh. Okay, and then about the Fraka barrage, already we talked that they started stopping the Ganga water here in the Bangladesh, in the West Bengal area. Okay, we started controlling. We started controlling. Okay, so because of that, here in this side area, what is happening? Bangladesh was facing issues. Okay, suppose like if they are using it for the navigable purpose, so that time according to our users, we are stopping this water and we were releasing the water from here. So during that time, they were facing issues. So that's why we have the dispute over the Praka barrage. So it is in the Murshidabad, West Bengal. To increase the water supply in the Hooghly River from the waters, and also remember that this particular Praka barrage was built, and we know that we have the riverine port in the Kolkata. Okay, so we were sending this water to the Hooghly River for navigable purpose also. Okay, so there what is happening? So there is no problem silt in port of Kolkata. Okay, so that's why we have the dispute over this particular part, because India was stopping this water in the Fraka barrage area. Okay, so that is all about the India and Bangladesh border. Now we come to the India and Nepal border. So we must remember that what are all those states touching the India and Nepal? We have the Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Uttarakhand, Sikkim, and West Bengal. And also we know that this is an open border. Okay, like we know that we can go without visa also. Okay, even buses are going in that area. Okay, and why we have only some disputes we have. Recently, a new map of Nepal was officially released by Nepal, which considers that Kala Pani, Lumpi Yodra, and the Lipu Lake of Uttarakhand as part of its sovereign territory. So that's why we have now recently this disputes came because of the interference of the China. Otherwise, everything was okay between us and Nepal. So this is about the Nepal and the India. We don't have that much disputes over Nepal. Okay, so mostly all those disputes we are having only with the China, and China is trying to interfere. So that's why some disputes are going on. Okay, so this is all about the Nepal. So next part we'll have the maritime boundary. Okay, so we'll finish up our class here, and in the next class we'll see about the maritime boundary, and there also we'll discuss about the unclosed. Okay, so we'll mind up our class here. So if any doubt, just let me know. Any doubt,
Yes, sir.
anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, buddy. So we'll stop the class. Then in the next class, we'll study about the unclosed. Someone take the screenshot of this particular students present here and send me. Okay, buddy. So you all can leave the class now and go on for the next class. Thank you all. Jai.
Thank you, sir.